Number 9. Battleground. We'll start off with some of the good stuff that happened at this pay-per-view. I mean, most people will not agree with me, but again, this is my opinion. Cena versus Rusev in that flag match, I thought it told a good story. Cena coming back after a while being wherever he was, I don't know what he was doing. But he came back, fought Rusev in that flag match. It was a decent match for what it was. AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens. I cannot remember any good coming out of their series of matches, but AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens, this wasn't the one at Backlash where they got disqualified or counted out. I think a real clear-cut winner came out of this, so why not? We'll take it. The Usos versus the New Day. Awesome match. Set up what was to come later on in the coming months. Horrible match at Money in the Bank. Better match at Battleground. And now we have to get into a little bit of the bad. Sami Zayn versus Kanellis. Was that Mike Kanellis' only match in WWE? I can't, was that the last match that he had before Maria got pregnant? I mean, why don't they use him anymore? Nakamura versus Baron Corbin. I think it ended in a count out. It might have been a DQ, but it ended in a weird way. It didn't end it with a clear-cut winner. Nakamura won, thankfully, but Baron Corbin, come on, man. You're just as bad as Roman Reigns. And then we had the 5-way to determine the #1 contender for the Women's Championship at SummerSlam. And for some reason, Natalya won. She needs to retire. Seriously. I'm getting sick of... And her versus Charlotte never put on good matches. They had one good match in NXT, and everybody has been on their butt cheeks since then, thinking they're going to have a good match here every time. And no. Natalya versus Naomi was not a good match at SummerSlam. Natalya winning here was not good at all. Jinder versus Orton, for what it was, Punjabi prison match, I mean, it wasn't that bad. I would probably watch it again if I was sitting at home 10 in the morning, eating some cereal on a Saturday morning, nothing to do, and then the Great Khali coming out and holding the title. It was pretty funny. So I mean, Battleground not that bad. Once again, in the middle of the card, or in the middle of the pack here with all these pay-per-views. But yeah, number 9. Number 8. Extreme Rules. Unlike all the other pay-per-views on this list, Extreme Rules, I have had a chance to watch it again a couple days ago, and Extreme Rules, rewatching it was a lot better than watching it live. And with that being said, that's why it's at number 8. It's right in the middle, but some people might still find some fault with it, and some people might find some goods. I found a couple of good things that came out of this, but let's start with some of the bad. Alexa Bliss versus Bayley, that was a horrible stipulation, as you will see in another one of these matches, I believe. A candlestick on a pole match. Nothing on a pole match is ever good, unless it's Judy Bagwell, right? That was her name. If you put her on a forklift, that's a good match. But nothing on a pole is good. Austin Aries versus Neville again. I think this was when Austin Aries finally had enough and he left afterwards. If not, please correct me in the comments. But Neville versus Austin Aries. Neville won again. Made no sense. There were 4 straight matches. Austin lost. We also had an intergender match with Rich Swann, Sasha Banks taking on Noam Dar and Alicia Fox. Is that supposed to be Extreme WWE? Why had that match on the main card? Take that off or put it on the free show. We don't want to see that. Now let's get on to some of the good that I found from this pay-per-view. Even though it seems like it's been half and half. Cesaro, or The Bar, versus the Hardys in a steel cage match. It was good for what it was. I would have really liked to see the stipulation be like a TLC match or a ladder match, seeing as the Hardys, it's their stipulation that they like to go to, but seeing as they had that WrestleMania match, I can see why they chose something different. The Bar obviously picked up the win there. I was fine with that. It was only their second match, so why not? I thought it was the last one, but it turned out not to be. The Miz versus Dean Ambrose. I hate if a champion gets DQ'd or counted out, they lose the title. I hate that stipulation. And is that also supposed to be an extreme stipulation, WWE? Come on now. But anyway, I mean, it was a good match. I believe it was. And The Miz won the championship by the Skull Crusher finale. So it didn't end by DQ or count out in The Miz's favor. So I was glad to see it end by pinfall. The match that really surprised me the most, I thought it was horrible when I saw it live, but rewatching it, there was a lot of good moments in that match. The 5-way is what I'm talking about, and Samoa Joe winning was a nice little surprise, because then you thought he was going to have a good match with Brock Lesnar. It turned out not to be, but I mean, Extreme Rules still pretty good, and the ending was a surprise, and a good surprise. Number 7, Survivor Series. We have our first Big 4 pay-per-views on this list at number 7, and it is Survivor Series. Survivor Series was the weakest of the Big 4 pay-per-views in my opinion, and let's get straight to it. I mean, we're in the top half of this list, so there's gonna be some good stuff here, more than bad, hopefully, but I think it is deserving of number 7, and this is why. Mostly because of the end. The Miz versus Baron Corbin, no thanks. Wasn't there a chance for Baron Corbin or The Miz to lose the belt and to make that match a lot better than it was? On like Raw or SmackDown? They should have changed the belts. And that's what they did with AJ Styles, who delivered a good match against Brock Lesnar. That dream match paid off, unlike like Shinsuke Nakamura versus Dolph Ziggler. You know what I'm saying? So AJ Styles versus Brock Lesnar, 4 stars, 5 stars, 7 stars, all the stars that Dave Meltzer has in his pocket, just hand them out to Brock versus AJ. At least for Survivor Series. That was the best match on the card. The women's match, the champion versus champion match, it was decent. Again, I'm not a fan of Alexa Bliss, but I mean, she did what she could against Charlotte in that match. Back and forth contest, but at the end we saw Charlotte win. And then the tag match was a lot better than the women's match, but like I said, the women's match was decent in my opinion. So I mean, the tag match was good. The Bar versus the Usos. Obviously, I said I'm a fan of the Bar. I love how I like when they turn heel. That's when they really started to gel as a team. But the Shield versus the New Day, it was a good match. Shield, New Day, why not? You know what I'm saying? And then finally, what puts it at number 7, and it's not a lot higher on this list, Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. That was such a shit show. Why do you eliminate Nakamura and Bobby Roode at the beginning? That doesn't make. They should have been the last, along with Shane McMahon. They should have been the last 3 guys on Team SmackDown. I mean, I get, but again, like Braun Strowman, he's gonna destroy everything. You don't like it, but at the same time you do. But at the same time you don't. It's like a 2 evils kind of thing. And then Triple H and the match, along with John Cena, made no sense. John Cena was on Raw like 2 months earlier. Why is he on SmackDown now? Made no sense. I can't even find words to describe it. And then the end, a whole lot of shenanigans going on. Shane McMahon getting pedigreed, Kurt Angle getting pedigreed, Braun Strowman tried to get pedigreed. I mean, that match was all over the place. As the previous year had shown, they know how to do this rivalry between Raw and SmackDown. The 2016 edition was a lot better than the 2017 edition. So, because that match was like the main part of the show, that's why it's at number 7 and not like number 3 or number 5. There was a good card, besides like Miz and Corbin, the women's match a little bit, and Team Raw and Team SmackDown. But Team Raw versus Team SmackDown really brought this pay-per-view all the way down. Number 6, Clash of Champions. So Clash of Champions and Survivor Series can be flip-flop for each other, but 6 and 7, why not? Clash of Champions gets the number 6 spot on this list. Bludgeon Brothers squash Breezango. Bludgeon Brothers have been doing nothing but squash matches since they arrived. I don't think they faced any real competition since coming over to SmackDown. Well, they were on SmackDown, but you know what I mean, since they brought over the gimmick. Charlotte versus Natalya again. They can't deliver good matches. Stop giving them to us. Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn versus Nakamura and Orton. It could have been a good match if there was one referee in the ring and one on the outside. Because there was 2, that made the match a whole lot sloppier than it should be. Given all those 4 talents that were in the ring, they could have made the match work. Just have one of the refs outside, and at the end, do a knockout for the referee inside the ring. That would have been a lot better. Next, we also had the Dolph Ziggler versus Baron Corbin versus Bobby Roode in that 3 triple threat match, and it was pretty good. I mean, it was slow at the beginning, but it picked up at the end. And seeing as it is a lot more recent that it happened this pay-per-view. This is why probably I have this in my mind as being a good match. Who knows if I go back and watch it like I did for Extreme Rules, if I will find this match good at all. I think it's worthy of number 6 on this list, Clash of Champions that is. And Dolph Ziggler winning that US Championship was a surprise because he was added to that match and we were like, somebody's gonna pin Dolph Ziggler to win the championship, be it Bobby Roode or Baron Corbin. But no, we got Dolph Ziggler as the US champ. He vacated later, like that next week on SmackDown, and then he died. I don't know what happened to him. Also, that Fatal 4-Way tag match was a lot more entertaining than I thought it was. Again, it was slow at the beginning, and then even though it was a quick match for a Fatal 4-Way tag match, but it was still entertaining. Chad Gable doing a whole bunch of flippity doodahs. At the end of the day, the Usos again pick up the victory. I'm fine with them. I'm glad they're not the face painted Usos anymore because I would have not been fine with them winning. But the Usos of this era, I'm fine with. AJ Styles wins the championship match, and finally we get Jinder Mahal out of the WWE Championship picture, at least for the time being, at least for the beginning of 2018. This ends the Jinder Mahal era, and this is also why I have Clash of Champions so high, because it brought us this moment. We have Jinder Mahal out of the title picture, and AJ Styles, WWE Champion, going into WrestleMania.